Hey guys, tonight we are traveling far back, really far, into the slow heat of ancient Egypt, where the sun rises over the Nile like molten gold and the air smells faintly of wet reeds and crushed flax. You're not a tourist, not tonight. You're just another bleary-eyed linen worker, blinking against the dawn glare, about to spend your day doing something profoundly ordinary and surprisingly sophisticated, ironing clothes without a single spark of electricity. You probably won't survive this shift. To be honest, Egyptian summers make your favorite dry cycle look like air conditioning. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And, as always, I'd love to know where you're listening from and what time it is there. Are you somewhere rainy at midnight? Or maybe hiding from daylight like a desert cat? Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You start your morning before the sun is fully up, the Nile still wrapped in mist like gauze. The world feels half awake. A faint rustle of palm fronds mixes with the distant lowing of cattle. Around you, figures move quietly, linen workers, temple servants, farmers ferrying water in clay jars. The air tastes faintly metallic, that unique Nile blend of silt and salt. You pull a length of rough flax fiber through your fingers and feel the tiny ridges catch on your skin, each one waiting to become a fine white thread. The Egyptians, of course, loved linen. Cotton hadn't arrived yet, and wool, itchy, heavy, animal-smelling, was considered unclean. So linen was everything: clothing, shrouds, bandages, curtains, even currency at times. In fact, one inscription brags about a temple tax being paid in 10,000 bolts of the finest white linen. That's like paying your rent with laundry detergent coupons, but somehow fancier. You watch the first workers head down to the river. They're carrying baskets full of pale fabric that shimmer slightly in the dawn light, like sheets of moonlight made tangible. One woman hums softly, and you recognize the tune. It's an old working song about the goddess Neith, patron of weaving and war. A strange pairing, though maybe anyone who's ever untangled thread understands that weaving is a kind of battle. Historians still argue whether these workers were free laborious, temple staff, or slaves attached to wealthy estates. The truth, as usual, probably depends on the century and who owned the fields. But for now, everyone's just focused on getting the laundry done before the sun becomes unbearable. You wade into the shallows. The water is surprisingly cool, slipping around your ankles. Someone nearby cracks a joke about the crocodiles watching from downstream. Probably not true, but you step a little closer to the shore anyway. A line of smooth stones forms a kind of washing platform, worn flat by years of scrubbing. The workers dip the fabric, beating it gently against the stones with rhythmic slaps. Each smack sends up tiny arcs of droplets that catch the light like scattered gems. It's oddly hypnotic, like a metronome for the ancient world. The detergent of choice here isn't soap as we know it. Instead, they use natron, a naturally occurring mix of sodium carbonate and bicarbonate harvested from dried lake beds. It fizzes faintly when it hits the water, like an ancient cousin of your laundry booster. Add a handful of crushed lotus petals, and the whole place smells like dusty perfume and river mud. As the day brightens, you start to notice the hierarchy in motion. One woman directs others briskly, wearing a linen wrap so fine it's almost translucent. Another, older worker mutters about her aching back but keeps scrubbing anyway. There's a rhythm to their teamwork, something communal and calm. You feel like you've slipped into the gears of an ancient, sun-powered washing machine. Nearby, a scribe leans on a reed staff, recording quantities in hieratic script. You try to peek, his noting who produced what length of fabric, marking symbols that resemble perched birds and squiggly fish. The Egyptians recorded everything, from bread rations to laundry tallies, perhaps proof that bureaucracy is older than love. Now and then, a gust of wind rolls off the river and flutters the damp cloth spread across low bushes to dry. It's beautiful, in a minimalist sort of way, an accidental art installation of white strips fluttering against blue sky and green reeds. One of the workers jokes that the gods will think it's a festival flag display. You laugh, then nearly trip on a stray pot shard, which is exactly why you shouldn't be trusted with ancient relics. By mid-morning, the sun starts to assert itself, and the light turns sharp. You can feel it prickling the back of your neck. A young boy runs by carrying a basket of flax seeds, heading toward a nearby field. Flax cultivation was serious business here, planted in winter, harvested by hand, soaked in water until the fibers separated. Someone once said Egyptian linen was woven sunlight, and standing here, you believe it. Still, It's easy to forget how grueling this work is. The bending, rinsing, wringing, it's slow torture for the spine. But there's pride in it, too. When you ask one worker why they go to such trouble, she grins. Because the gods notice wrinkles, she says, deadpan. You can't tell if she's joking. That belief, linking physical smoothness with moral and spiritual purity, runs deep. Priests couldn't approach temple altars without freshly laundered linen. Mummies needed perfectly folded wrappings for eternity. The entire civilization, in a sense, was trying to iron itself flat before the divine gaze. A hawk cries overhead, perhaps a distant avatar of Horus. The smell of natron clings to your hands. You watch another piece of fabric get lifted from the water, shimmering like a wet wing. Someone spreads it on a flat rock to dry, using smooth pebbles to weigh the corners. It's not just laundry, it's a quiet conversation with time. As the morning stretches, you find your movements slowing to match the rhythm of the others. You rinse, wring, fold, and lay. Rinse, wring, fold, lay. Somewhere, someone starts humming again, a lullaby this time. You think of all the nameless workers who did this for centuries, their songs dissolving into the desert air. Maybe that's the real magic of history. It keeps humming long after we've stopped listening. The sun climbs higher. The linen dries to a soft, pale gold. Soon, the next phase begins, smoothing, pressing, and perfecting. You glance toward a shaded work area where a few figures prepare to demonstrate their secret methods, the ones that kept Egyptian robes wrinkle-free long before the invention of irons. And as the heat thickens around you, you realize you're not just watching history. You're standing inside it, one slow, sleepy fold at a time.